Minnesota Timberwolves are going to the Western Conference Finals.
I mean, it feels great to win, especially on my birthday. You know, 7 years have been knocked out, and now we're going to the Western Conference Finals. You know, I feel pretty good.
After nearly 30 years, we're extremely proud that NBA basketball is back in Minnesota. I want to thank you for the support that has made it all possible.
An expansion team that's never made the playoffs, everybody else does. What's the problem?
That the players who they've drafted on the first round over the years, I think only 2 of them are still on the team. They need talented people. They were out-rebounded by 6 a game. It makes it difficult to win the close ball games.
And the owner got up. He was on the other side of the table and walked all the way around the table. I got up. When he got to me, he put out his hands, and I took his hands. We shook, and he says, "You're the owner."
The new owner, and the team has a lot of talent. We just need to develop chemistry, and it's a first-class organization, and you know, it's an organization I feel that I'd want to play for and have a chance to win with them.
Did not allow him to put it on the floor and get by.
Oh, are you kidding? Play of the decade! Play of the decade! Unbelievable!
This is a big night for Kevin McHale, who has been reunited with a team that he played 13 seasons for and accomplished a remarkable number of things. 3 NBA championships, 7 All-Star, and they go on and on.
With the 5th pick in the 1995 NBA draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Kevin Garnett from Farragut Academy in Chicago.
Plays hard every night, 1,000%. I'm going to see some teamwork. I'm going to see some passing. I'm a team player. I don't mind if I get the ball. I just try to go in there and do my best and then leave the game, you know, saying that I gave it my all. That's all.
This team and this organization is going to take the next step, be able to be a playoff contender, eventually be a team that's going to compete for a championship. And I know after you've lost 60 games in a row for 4 years, it's tough to talk about championships. You got to shoot for the top, and you got to work to get there.
He's going to diplomatically make his case. What a foul call that is. I mean, they were just bumping in the block, seemingly innocuously, and Evans fouls him out of the game.
There are glimmers of why the Timberwolves invested $5.6 million over 3 years in Garnett. He has instinctive court sense that is unteachable. His 6'10", 220-pound body is certainly not finished growing.
Milwaukee conveys the draft rights to Stephon Marbury to Minnesota in exchange for the draft rights to Ray Allen and a future first-round draft pick.
Isaiah Ryder, you don't want to give this guy any more breaks than he's already had. Nice, strong move. He has the ability to get hit and make the shot because of his strength going to the bucket.
Stephon Marbury really starting to develop into the franchise point guard that they thought he'd be when they drafted him out of Georgia Tech with the #1 pick. He's been averaging 19 points a game over his last 6, and he's doing everything they want him to do.
This 5th-year forward leads his team in points, rebounds, and minutes played. Tom Gugliotta. This 20-year-old second-year forward has the Timberwolves challenging for their first playoff spot. Kevin Garnett.
108-96. The T-Wolves clinched their first ever playoff spot since joining the league in '89. The kids led the way. Marbury, 29 points, 8 assists. Garnett, 19 points, 3 rebounds.
Kevin Garnett is going to be the captain next year. They're waiting until he turns 21. He's spacing up the basket much better. He's playing much better defense. And Stephon Marbury could be scoring a lot more. Stephon Marbury is doing exactly what Flip Saunders and the rest of the coaches want him to.
Tell me about the playoffs, and you lose to Houston, but we see after the game, Charles Barkley's got you and the kid, Kevin Garnett. What was he saying to you after your first playoff appearance?
He was just pretty much saying, just keep our heads up, and pretty much we're going to be where he's at right now in the future.
You know, it's not about the money. Well, I mean, if it was about the money, then obviously I was told, Eric, save your time, and the Timberwolves out at the same time, save your time, and I'd have tried the free agent market next year.
It was just unbelievable. Glenn Taylor, Timberwolves owner, paid $85 million for the whole thing.
At 21, Garnett owned his future in the form of the richest long-term contract in the history of sports.
But it's Tom Gugliotta, another New York kid who's been the real constant. He's the team's leading scorer and rebounder, and he's getting better every season.
Yes, Gugliotta, an all-star last year along with Kevin Garnett.
rebounding from their slow start. Minnesota is once again one of the league's hottest teams. Timberwolves' journey appears to be right on course. The key now for Minnesota is keeping their young trio together. The three of them could also use a nickname. They've been called the Big Three.
Percy Hawkins also congratulated by the young Minnesota Stars. It seems the Sonics never take the easy route. But at least for now, they can breathe a sigh of relief.
A rookie salary scale that restricts a player's earnings his first 3 years in the league. The system has led to record contracts, including the $126 million deal to the Timberwolves' Kevin Garnett.
Now a technical on Gugliotta, and he's fouled out of the game. That's his sixth. He's gone. Foul on Gugliotta and a technical on Gugliotta. Well, you can't afford the technical.
Smith, Garnett, Garrett, that's a big front line for Minnesota. Marbury leads the show. Minnesota team out to try to show in the Midwest that they are for real. They feel like they've got a legitimate shot at winning this division. Minnesota is the young up-and-coming team.
My analogy for Kevin Stefan's situation is Batman and Robin. They're a duo, but nobody says, I'll be Robin. Everybody wants to be Batman. Kevin was Batman, okay? Marbury didn't want to be Robin. He wanted to go be Batman on another team.
After beginning his NBA career with the Minnesota Timberwolves, Stephon Marbury got the chance to come home. He was traded to the New Jersey Nets and was thrilled to be playing not far from where he grew up, in New York City.
The Timberwolves are led by their 6'11" star, Kevin Garnett. Still just 22 years old, Garnett is a terrific young player. He's level-headed and engaging, and he is loyal to all those people who have helped him along the way to NBA stardom.
They emphatically ended the series in 4 games.
They've got their beauty back, they got their confidence, they truly believe now. The San Antonio Spurs have won the first-round series 3 games to 1.
With the 6th pick in the 1999 NBA draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Wally Szczerbiak from Miami University.
And I feel like I can be even better as I work. And I feel like it's so much that I don't know. You're not thinking championship? I always think championship. If you don't think championship when you come into preseason, into camp, then you shouldn't even come in the gym.
KG holds it high, works on Henderson. And throws it down. My goodness.
Kevin Garnett, multi-talented, aggressive, passionate with the slam.
I've always closed my eyes and visualized me just grasping the trophy, not even letting anyone near it. Just in order to get there, man, I got to get out of the first round. There's a lot of things that I can achieve. I just got to work harder.
A franchise that will continue to grow. This series is all over. The Trailblazers win it in 4, and now they await the winner between Utah and Seattle.
Timberwolves guard, NBA veteran Malik Sealy died as a result of a head-on car collision in suburban Minneapolis. His sports utility vehicle was hit by a pickup truck which was going the wrong way on a highway.
When I came in the 3rd pick in the draft, before too long after that, I dipped all the way down to the bottom. People wrote me off as a bust.
Billups had trouble shaking his label as an underachiever. After bouncing around to 4 teams in 3 seasons, he arrived in Minnesota.
There was a under-the-table deal done with my agent and with the organization and without me being involved. But I eventually ended up having to pay the penalty. It was an under-the-table deal. That one was worth $80 million.
David Stern fined the team $3.5 million. The Timberwolves didn't have first-round draft picks for 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, and 2005, although 2003 and 2005 were ultimately returned.
Minnesota, we thought that they would probably drop back with all the problems that they've had during the offseason with the Joe Smith fiasco. It's going to be very, very difficult if you're not 10 games above 500 at the end of the year.
It's been in a different groove lately. We've been following this league. There is no I, there's no me, team is what we're stressing here. We found this league. We're taking different roles night in, night out, and following this league. It starts at the head.
But the trail has come to an end for the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have been eliminated by the San Antonio Spurs in 4 games. The final score here at the Target Center, the Spurs 97.
Lost in the first round of the playoffs in each of Flip Saunders' first 5 full seasons in Minnesota. And the team's been stripped of 4 of its next 5 first-round picks due to the Joe Smith controversy. Despite the obvious obstacles, though, Saunders has decided to stick around.
They really miss Brandon because what he does is he calms everyone's
nerves. They just don't have that leader down the stretch that they're accustomed to, and Chauncey has to take those 47 minutes.
They're not going to have that leader. Terrell is out for the year. He won't play in the playoffs.
From the Minnesota Timberwolves, making his first All-Star game appearance, 6'7" guard forward, Wally Szczerbiak.
Too much on the shoulders of Kevin Garnett or no?
There's a lot on the shoulders of Kevin Garnett, but all superstars have to do it. But, Kevin doesn't have the supporting cast, in my opinion, of some of those other guys. But they can't beat the elite teams in this league without him and Wally both having special games.
That should do it.
That he hasn't been able to elevate his team beyond the first round. His defenders will say the supporting cast simply isn't there.
Well, the supporting cast is not there, but Kevin gave him some ammunition today.
Joe Dumars was confident that this unheralded point guard could help the Pistons win.
He was one of those hidden gems that just needed a chance, needed someone to believe in him. We went out and signed him to a 6-year deal and said, here's the ball, lead this team.
He comes to play every stinking game. There's no nights off for this guy, the way he approaches the game. It don't matter if he's making $1 or $100 million, he's going to come out to play to win. Definitely one of the top 3 candidates for MVP thus far in the season.
For you to be added to the list of the legends who have been the MVP of the All-Star game.
I couldn't have done none of this without my teammates, so I just want to thank the coaching staff and the rest of the Western All-Stars.
Getting back to the playoffs, for the past 6 seasons, Minnesota hasn't made it out of the first round. This year, good news, bad news. The Timberwolves have home court advantage for the first time, but they face the defending champion Lakers.
I was like, oh my God, I can't even believe this. On top of it, I thought it was a flop. I didn't even touch him. I know how to foul, but it don't matter. We 2-1 right now. Charles, we 2-1 right now. You know what that means. We 2-1 right now, Charles. What up, Kenny?
Although the Timberwolves reached the playoffs every year since 1997, Garnett has not been able to take them into the second round. Even after gaining their first home court advantage in 2003, Minnesota lost to the Lakers in 6 games.
With the 26th pick in the 2003 NBA draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Dudi Ebe from England.
He's an excellent point guard. He makes pretty good decisions. He's a very good shooter, high percentage shooter, doesn't miss a lot of shots. An excellent mid-range game, gets where he wants to go with a dribble, and he's one heck of a competitor.
After more than a year on the trading block, Sprewell was dealt to Minnesota in July of 2003. With 5 seasons in New York under his belt, the 33-year-old swingman with the double-edged reputation took his game to the Midwest.
I'm not going to sit here and say, I want to go to the second. I want to get to the finals. I need to get to the second and then focus on the third. And I'm a big dreamer.
They're not getting anything inside. And that was my concern with this Minnesota team. They're a jump shooting team. Their jumpers are not going to fall. We're going to be able to take them out. Until they address their inside game, inside scoring and defense, they could still be a first round team.
We love coming on the road even though we're injured, just hanging out with the guys. And I think that'll carry over when we're able to get back just to, fit in real well and help make each other better. And hopefully we can, go on a run when we do come back.
But the additions of Sam Cassell and Latrell Sprewell would give Kevin the boost he needed. These 2 teammates, KG had also found a new set of soulmates. Minnesota would rise to the top of the West. Garnett was at the heart of their success.
Wolves have not led in the second half. Garnett with 2, with 1 for the win. He's got it. It's over. Kevin Garnett puts a dagger in the heart of the Clippers.
This is not for me. It's not for Sam. This is for everybody in here. This is for everybody who's been with KG. This is for everybody who love the Timberwolves. This is for everybody who feel me right now. This is for everybody. Everything from here and from now is just new to me. So I'm eager, but I'm very happy.
2003-2004 NBA MVP Kevin Garnett.
I just want to say thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Glenn Taylor. Thank you, organization. Thank you, my family, and thank you, fans.
And the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to the Western Conference Finals.
It feels great to win, especially on my birthday. 7 years I've been knocked out, and now we're going to the Western Conference Finals. I feel pretty good.
It was initially a hip problem that through treatment, it moved up into the lower back. Then they treated the lower back, and it moved back down into the hip area. So having a tough time trying to resolve the problem, obviously.
And the Los Angeles Lakers have defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves in 6. They are moving on to the NBA Finals to take on the winner of Indiana and Detroit.
Turned down the contract and explained his decision by saying, why would I want to help them win a title? They're not doing anything for me. I'm at risk. I have a lot of risk here. I've got my family to feed.
Spreedy's contract, was an issue that I felt like the organization should have took care of just for the sake of the season. Because when the season starts, it's about wins and losses. Sam was trying to get a re-up. I think Wally said that he didn't want to come off the bench anymore.
When you watch this team, it's the swagger that they had last year. It's the chip that they had last year. This was supposed to be a year that you could build on going to the Western Conference Finals. And so far, it's been a disaster. They just haven't been able to do anything right.
As coach from 1995 to 2005, he took the Wolves to 8 straight playoffs and the Western Conference Finals back in 03 and 04. So he was doing something right until he got fired, of course.
Are you taking the full responsibility for this? You feel it?
Got no choice. I see the Spurs. I see Shaq with his new team. We got a lot of talent on our team, just as any of those teams I just named. We in this situation here. It's killing me.
Excellent effort after 2 good days of practice. We finally kind of transferred our practice habits into the game. We wanted the game to be up-tempo. I thought the pace totally different than we had it. I thought that was the difference in the game.
With the 14th pick in the 2005 NBA Draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Rashad McCants from the University of North Carolina.
I do care about my image, but I don't really care about negative things that I hear because I know I can't change. I have a better understanding of how things work and why it is what it is now. It's where I want it to be.
What Sam Cassell brings to their team is someone to settle down players, to show them how to win. There's an aura, a saying that we used to always say, you know how to win games, but you got to know how to win championships.
People looking at me like I'm the vet. It's going to be different. This will be the first time that I'm without like a nice base or a base of veterans that I can go and lean on and talk to and try to get some understanding.
Sheer determination right there.
He's going to win a lot of fans, this kid.
Plays hard.
He just does. He plays so hard.
He's a gutsy player. He's not a slam dunk guy, but he'll outthink you.
And he'll knock you over, too.
Dr. Buss contacted Glenn Taylor to discuss Garnett. Taylor did state that unless Kevin Garnett demands to be traded, however, sources close to Kevin Garnett are encouraging him to sit down with Taylor at the end of the season to discuss his future.
What is up with your future at this point? Do you expect to be back in Minnesota?
I totally expect to be back in Minnesota because that's where I'm at. I'm not the kind of person that's going to run because things are a little difficult. I'm a loyal person. Everybody that knows me knows that I go at everything 1,000%.
The most well-rounded player going in, offensively, defensively.
And multiple sources have told us that Minnesota and Portland will swap the 6 and the 7 picks. So that means Brandon Roy going from Minnesota to Portland.
He's more talented than Tim Duncan. Kevin's great talent actually works against him because when you can do as many things well as he can, and more of his game was played on the interior, that in and of itself would make this Timberwolves basketball team a much better unit. Well, we were talking with Randy Whitman before the game, and we asked him, what's the biggest deficiency, Timmy? You asked him. He said, it's our guard play. And in that, what he's talking about is their decision-making.
All the accomplishments I've made in the league, I couldn't have done that without the other 4 guys or the other guys on the bench or whatever. When you're successful and you just so happen to be the one that gets the attention for the success, a lot comes with that, and that's responsibility.
Proposed 3-team trade. The Suns would get KG, while the Celtics would wind up with Shawn Marion, sending 4 players in total to Minnesota. Kurt Thomas from Phoenix. The report says all of it hinges on Marion's willingness to sign a contract extension.
I had no interest in leaving Minnesota. Lynn's views on what he wanted for his team on the future was very different from mine. I see myself in the Celtic jersey, probably my best opportunity of winning the ring, so I took the big steps to make those adjustments.